Well, hello guys and welcome to my channel. This will be the first video of my series related to anything sort of gaming and technology and entertainment wise. Yeah, welcome. I've thought about trying to do all sorts of intros and things like that, and it just hasn't worked. So I'm just gonna get straight into it, I guess. Today I want to talk about a piece of gaming gear that I've had I've had now for about a year now, and that is that bad boy over there, my keyboard. That is the Razer Blackwidow Chroma. The reason why I wanted to bring it up is that I've seen a few people online, especially on Facebook, have been asking about peripherals. I think coming up to Christmas time as well, people are going to be thinking about what can they buy for Christmas. To be honest, it's got a few ups and downs, but there's a few downsides to it that I think that I wanted to highlight today, and hopefully either help you decide what you want to get, or at least just to bring attention to some of the aspects of the keyboard that might be a bit of a downside to the experience. So the Blackwidow Chroma keyboard is a fully RGB mechanical keyboard. It's got its own Razer mechanical switches. You can kind of compare them to the Cherry MX brown and red and all that kind of thing, but it is a very clicky. It's quite a heavy. It's a 50-gram key, and yeah, when people say that the Blackwidow Chroma is the loudest keyboard in the world, I think I understand where they're coming from. It is not ideal if you're going to be doing streaming, or if the clicky noises annoy you and give you a bit of a tick by the end of it. But yeah, this is an extremely loud keyboard. Don't buy this keyboard thinking it's mechanical, but it's a quiet version. It is not. This thing is bloody loud. It is considered a gaming keyboard, so it comes with 5 extra macro keys on the side, which is great if you need that for any sort of, I don't know, MMOs or RPGs or whatever you guys are playing. Personally, I don't use the macro keys all that often. Maybe it's just because of the type of games that I've been playing, but so I guess a macro key is a macro key. There's not much to say about that. In terms of the software and programming the macro keys, it's very easy. The Razer Synapse software is pretty easy to get used to and understand, and to make your adjustments as you need. So as I mentioned, it's a fully RGB keyboard, and when they say fully RGB, I think I know what they mean. It's the full spectrum of colors. It's really customizable in Synapse. You can get all sorts of wave effects, and my favorite one is the pulse one. So every time you hit a key, it sends out a ripple of colors, which is pretty cool. A lot of gimmicky stuff, I guess, but RGB is the buzzword these days. Everybody wants RGB this, RGB that. Motherboards are RGB, RAM sticks are RGB. So if you like to mod your setup and get all sorts of lighting effects going, then this is definitely a great choice for you, because it's extremely customizable down to every single key if you wanted to, which is really cool if you're into that kind of thing, I guess. So as much as the keyboard is a great keyboard, it's the mechanical switches are really easy. It's a great experience for typing on. Like I said, the Synapse software is really good for customizing. It's a well-built unit. You can feel it. It's well manufactured. The cables as well, all sleeved. You've got gold tips on the USB ports. That's something else I should probably mention. You've got an earphone jack on it as well. It's all USB operated, so you don't have to go and plug your headset in the back. If you wanted to, you could plug it straight into the keyboard, which is kind of cool as well. I guess it's for accessibility. However, this is a 3,000 rand keyboard, right? It's a high-end keyboard. It's not something that you just get for the Mickey of it. With that, you kind of expect certain build quality, which is what you get. Now, Razer is known for a lot of their products having that matte finish. It's the same as the case that I've got there. It's got that black matte, which looks really classy and everything like that. It looks very cool, like that dark gray kind of color. The downsides is that it's really prone to fingerprints, oil off your fingers, smudges and that kind of thing, and getting it off is a real pain. In terms of a functionality point of view, it's not the end of the world, and hey, if that doesn't bother you, then it doesn't bother you, then it's chill vibes. You can happily game on this thing, no problem. It'll be a great buy. But if you like your things to be nice and clean and neat, this is going to be a real issue for you. And if you compare it to something like the Corsair keyboards, which are made from like that brushed metal or brushed aluminium, you know, that's a lot easier to clean, to keep clean, and you know, it's not as prone to fingerprints and scratches as this keyboard is. Overall, it's a great keyboard, I must say. I've been using it, I've been loving it. It's a fantastic piece of tech, but I must say it's really starting to get to me, the dirt aspect of it, and the smudginess and everything like that, and the kind of marks that get left on this keyboard. It really gets a bit annoying, especially if you start to get really anal about your setup and keeping things clean. It's really going to bother you. And the fact that the keys are really loud, that could really bother. It doesn't bother me too much, I've gotten used to it. I don't stream, I don't, you know, sometimes people can hear it over the microphone, but if you adjust the settings slightly, you know, you can get away with it without anybody hearing it. But if you are a Twitcher and you're playing a lot of online games and you have a sensitive microphone, then it's definitely going to pick it up. Yeah, so guys, this is my first video. I just wanted to kind of kick things off and do a little bit of a product review. Just to show you, I mean, this is purely based on my own experiences of actually using the keyboard, which I think, which is great in terms of, you know, when you get reviews and people have just unboxed it and they've just opened it for the first time, it's cool, like you get the first impressions of it, which I had when I bought this thing. I was like, wow, this is great, and the keyboard's mechanical, but you know, now that I've used it for quite some time now, I can give you a bit of, you know, feedback based on my experiences, which is something that I want to try and do, is, you know, like things that I've actually used, try and do a bit of a review and a bit of a, you know, just a viewpoint from an actual user and what it's actually like to use the product. Yeah, this is by no means sponsored, this is my first video, so there's no way Razer or anybody has helped me out with this. That would be pretty cool though, I'll be honest. Well, I suppose now is about that time where I should have a little bit of a disclaimer. As you guys can see, I have a lot of Razer products. I've got the headset, I've got the keyboard, I've got the mouse, I've got the headset, the case, the keyboard and the mouse. Yeah, so I obviously enjoy the brand Razer. I'll be honest with you, I think it's really cool. I'm also just a brand person. I like having a family of brands as opposed to, you know, mixing and matching stuff. But hey, that's just me. You might be different. If you're not so worried and concerned about mixing and matching products and things like that, then, you know, you can do that. I love my Razer products, even though I've got a few issues with them. You know, I've got to be honest. I think they're still great products, and you know, I'll chat about the mouse and the case and the headset and things. I mean, they've all got their pros and cons. The headset's another one that I'm a little bit like, a little bit disappointed. The case and the mouse, I love both of those. So yeah, I mean, I suppose not every product is perfect, but yeah, that's just my disclaimer, I guess. Anyways, guys, that's my review of the Razer Blackwidow Chroma. If you're using this keyboard and you agree with some of the things I've said, you know, leave some comments below. If not, and you're loving it and you have a great way of cleaning it, please by all means let me know. And if you're using an alternative like the Corsair Vengeance K70 RGB keyboard, which is in similar price range, also fully mechanical and RGB, but that's like the one I was saying, it's like a brushed aluminium. Yeah, leave some comments below. Let's see what you guys have got, and if you agree with me or not on some of the points that I've raised with this. Anyways, guys, that's the end of my first inaugural video, my milestone video, my first step into the unknown. This is really scary, by the way, guys. Like, this is going to be out there for all of you to judge and scorn me, but hopefully not so much. Some constructive criticism, guys. Come on, internet, be nice for once. So subscribe if you liked what you see, don't if you didn't. This is my first video, so let's see where this goes. This is a bit of a personal project, a little bit of a hobby that I'm going to try get going, and yeah, I will see you in the next one.